I'm back. I'm back. Yes, I did not watch the SENZO MEYIWA trial yesterday because I was held up by Shadrach Sibiya. Okay, Shadrach Joseph Sibiya over there at the ad hoc committee. And boy, oh boy, am I glad I chose to go over there, because where else was I going to hear Shadrach Sibiya himself talk about the SENZO MEYIWA trial and all the other things? And he sounded a lot like Gininda half the time. Okay, all the time. What do I mean half the time? All the time. Basically answering questions. It was like he went to the school of Gininda, or him and Gininda went to the same school, called Don't Answer the Question, Just Talk Endlessly. But what I like about Parliament, they call him back and they say, that wasn't my question. Let's go back to the question. And then it forces him to answer the question. So I love that. Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome back to another Mzansi Unfiltered edition. I am back with a heartbreaking update. Yeah, heartbreaking update. Remember my last video on the SENZO MEYIWA trial? I said, I think it's so unfair that they don't show us Muzi Sibiya on the stand. And two reasons why today. One, he broke down on the stand. At the mention of his mother, he was unconsolable. He could not continue. Court had to adjourn. That was heartbreaking, guys. But think about it. We, the viewers, were able to connect with him because we've been following the story. But imagine had we been granted access to actually see that moment. See the body language indicators. Those who had ever had any doubts about the torturizations that he says happened to him and the detail that he gives. That was the moment that the cameraman should have zoomed in and gone, pa. Yeah. My heart goes out to him. That was hard to listen to. Nisi Wemvula is the right man for him, and he immediately said, adjourn. My Lord, adjourn. And let me tell you, my Lord knows there's a Madlanga commission. He knows there's an ad hoc committee. He is on his best behavior, okay? His best behavior is so besting that he said, oh, Charlotte's not here again? Okay, cool. No problem. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's like, who's this man? Where's the raging lunatic? But anyway, that's how court started. Absolutely heartbreaking. So I've told you, of course, the spoiler alert, that Muzi Sibiya broke down and cried the second time in the courtroom. And I believe Nisi Wemvula did this on purpose. Is they're going through the photo album where Zungu, I guess it's a photo album, and I'll do a separate video on the photo album, but I just want to get you to this part where Zungu says he was out partying, okay, with the 5 accused. Nisi Wemvula went through each and every single photo in that photo album. I thought Baloyi was going to object, and Baloyi decided to mind his business on that one. Oh, I have so much to say on that clip. But anyway, I'll do a separate video. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and then, I'll work on the next video. But guess what? Muzi Sibiya kept saying, no, I don't know who that is. No, I don't know. No, I'm not in the photo. No, I'm not in the photo. No, I'm not. And he said it up to 50 times individually. The part I'm getting at is at some point, Nisi just stops in the middle of going through that album and he goes, ever since you started your cross-exam, ever since you started being in the witness box, you always have your hands at the back. At your back. So I imagine, because I'm left with only that's all I have, because we can't see him. I imagined his hands at the back of him, and I thought, my first instinct was, oh my God, is he testifying while being handcuffed? And then he moves his hands forward. This is all just audio for me. And then he says, Muzi Sibiya says, I don't know why. And Nisi talks more to it, and I said to myself, oh my goodness, it's probably a reflex of always being handcuffed. It's always in handcuffs. So he became accustomed to it. Or let me just keep my hands behind me to keep myself safe. Because I've been torturized, they've been done everything to me. They've put their hands on me, they've put their shoes on me, they've put their plastic bags on my face, they've done it all to him. This man is a traumatized young man. Oh, the part about the hands, why his hands are always at the back, happened after he had broken down about his mother. By the way, he broke down at the moment where he had to talk about seeing his mother for the first time after the police had taken him home. First of all, I didn't know there was such a service. Is that part of the slush fund where you take arrested Mkuligutus, okay, in quotations, you drive them home? Why were they driving him home? Like, why were they driving him home? Like, that is the most outrageous thing. And then I'm reminded of the clip. I couldn't find it right here, but I want to do this video quickly. I'm reminded of the clip where I think it's Newsroom Africa, or is it ENCA? I think it's ENCA. I don't know why I don't have the clip. I couldn't find it because I was going to open my video with that. You know, when the father breaks down and cries and says, Muzi Sibiya SENZO MEYIWA, and then he just breaks down. This man, this big tall giant, just breaks down into tears. Heartbreaking, just a heartbreaking account of what happened. So Muzi Sibiya is talking, telling us, or should I say the court rather, and us members of the public jury, that moment where he went home, which is also what the father said. The father corroborates the story, this version, that the police came with him home. And then I'm still asking, everybody who's arrested, do they get driven home in whole other province? In KZN of all. The tiny little province of KZN. Those who are following Shadrach Sibiya, yesterday he said, why doesn't Mkwanazi just stick to KZN? He's always hiring a task team and only putting KZN people in the task team. Like, Shadrach Sibiya is hilarious, guys. He's an extreme sport. He needs to be studied at Harvard. But I digress. Let me play you the clip. Please watch. Let me know your thoughts on Muzi Sibiya and his breaking moment. Yeah, this is a young, traumatized man. Heartbreaking. Here we go.
Thank you. There's one aspect, man, when I was thinking about this this whole movement of you with the police that struck me, and not that this is the state's version, but you have mentioned on several occasions, then you've been out with the police, and then for further investigation, I'll call it investigation, on more than 3 occasions. You have not spoken about you having been offered food or drink by the police, not so?
They never bought me food and they never bought me water. I would live with them and I would return back to the police station where I was detained. That is where I used to get food, at the police station where I was detained.
Notably, my attention is drawn to what happened on the 5th of June, where according to the registers, the police registers, you left Fileria police station at 8:01 in the morning, and you came back at 6:01 in the evening. That is almost 12 hours, plus minus. Are you also saying that on this particular day, no food, no drink was offered to you by the police?
Manje umeli umuntu afisa ukuyiqonda noma afisa ukuthola ukuthi usho ukuthi nangalo ilanga leli amaphoyisa awakaze athengele ukudla noma akuphi amanzi ilanga le-5 ezakaJune ngonyaka ka-2020.
Awakaze ngithengele ukudla, awaze ngipha amanzi.
They never bought me food and they never gave me water.
Thank you, Mr. Mure. That is, thank you, Mr. Sibiya. That is what
I'm sorry to interrupt. Police just brought this to my attention, that the proposition that has been put today because it's not correct. Entry.
No, objection, my lord, objection. I'm still leading. Mr. Baloyi has got something to take up with the witness. Cross-examination still comes. I don't know what precarious process.
Are you quoting the OB? Yes, the OB.
OB,
yes.
which has been handed in.
Yes.
That's different.
Yes.
He will still take that issue up on cross-examination.
Sorry. Okay, fine.
Because my argument is not based on an OB. I am only saying that the OB entries are saying, specifically on the 5th of June, The OP entries are saying 1 minute past 8 o'clock in the morning, up until actually he was booked out at 1 minute past 8 in the morning, and he got brought back at 1 minute past 6 in the evening. I'm saying to this witness, is it also so that on that particular day the police never gave him food nor drinks? I'm not saying that the OPs are saying that was not food was not offered to him. I'm only saying, according to him, as he was interacting with this police between these time frames, no food was offered to him by the police, and he says yes, no, I got no food.
Okay.
So then the state stands up and say, objection, this suggestion is not correct. What is it that I'm suggesting to this witness?
Yeah, let's continue, sir.
And in any event, the state will still have to cross-examine this witness, my lord. I don't know. Thank you. So, it's your testimony, just to sum up on this aspect, that on all these dates that you've been out with the police, they offered you no food, they offered you no drinks.
Onza thumeli uqedela ke inkulumo lena ke emelana namahlandlo nakade uhamba namaphoyisa ngawo ethi izinto besesha ke icala noma lephinye icala ufakazi bakho ukuthi abakaze bakunike ukudla noma ke iphuzu
Abakaze banginike ukudla, abaze banginikeze iphuzu.
They never gave me food and they never gave me drinks.
Thank you. It was mentioned in the trial within a trial that at some point you were taken home to Wanongoma where you stayed. Do you still remember that?
Bathi khona ke udawu eqhamukile ngesikhathi kade khona kumzila ngaphakathi komzila noma i-trial within ke ngesingisi umbiko ukuthi wena ke bakunikisa emakhaya lapha kini kwaNongoma.
Yeah,
Usakhumbula lokho?
yeah, ngiyakhumbula.
Yes, I still remember that.
When was that?
Kade kunini ke kwakunini ngesikhathi kade kunikisa le emakhaya.
Kwakuyi-Saturday.
It was on a Saturday.
Isikhathi kwakusekuseni abangithatha ngaso la.
They took me during the morning hours.
Do you still remember the date?
Ilanga ngisalikhumbula.
Kwakuzi-6
It was on the 6th
June
June
2020.
during the year 2020.
Thank you. What was the purpose for you to be taken home?
Kade kuyini inhloso eyabangela mhlawumbe eyakhokhela ukuthi bathathe bakunikise emakhaya?
Bathi bafuna ukuyongibonisa abazali bami.
They told me that they wanted to take me to my parents.
Yes.
Ngoba babebuza ukuthi since ngoba bengingafoni ngingenzi lutho bebuza ukuthi yini abangangenzela yona ngathi mina kube ngicela ukuyobona umalume.
Uphinde futhi
Angikade ngingafoni ngingaziwe ukuthi ngikuphi. Sonke lesi sikhathi kusuka nge-30 mabe ngithatha bengibona. Abengekho umuntu ongaziyo ukuthi mina ngikuphi. Ngiyaphila or ngisaphili na. Base bethu ubani umuntu abangangiqhumanisa naye abangangibonisa yena ukuthi ngisaphila na. Ngathi mina ngicela bangibonise umalume ebengihlala naye.
from the 30th up until the date of the 6th, I was not in cell phone contact, no telephone contact with my family, and then my family did not know whether was I still alive or not. So they then asked me as to who do I need to see, no, who do I want to see. I then said, can they please allow me to see my uncle?
So as I understand you, you're saying that the police made an offer to you to take you to one of your family relatives because you've not been phoning and probably family might not be knowing as to your whereabouts. It was some kind of an atonement.
Yeah, amaphoyisa umalume ebela igoli amaphoyisa aqhama nokuthi engenze yini angayenza ukuthi ngikwazi ukuxhumana nomndeni ukuze bengazi ukuthi ngisaphila na.
My uncle was here in Gauteng. It was the police who came up with an idea of connecting me with my family, so that my family, they can be well aware that I was still alive.
Yes, then take us through the trip.
Bacela ukuthi manje usitshele malana nohambo lwakho namaphoyisa ngesikhathi ebekuthathile bekunikise emakhaya.
Bafika ekseni ngesabatha ngesonto. Bafika ekseni ngeSaturday siye sahamba.
They came during the morning hours on a Saturday.
Bafika bahlangana airport yase Cape Town Park.
They came, then they took me. After that, they then drove to meet up with others in airport in Cape Town Park.
Umuntu wayengilandela iVelaria kwakuMhane.
The person who went to pick me up, not to fetch me at the Velaria, it was Mohane,
uMabhena,
Mabena,
uNcamane,
Namane,
uBongani.
and Bongani.
masifika eCapton Park airport sidibane no Gininda
When we arrived in Captain Park by the airport, we then met up Mr. Gininda
nomhola
together with Mhola.
babehlangana kwasekhanjwa ngeimoto ezithu kwahanjwa ngeNissan neyiqashqayi kwahanjwa ngeFortune.
When they met up, they then drove into two different vehicles. And then the models of the vehicles, the first one was a Nissan Qashqai, and then the second one was a Fortuner.
Base bethi ngizobabonisa indlela ke eya ekhaya.
They then said, I will be directing them pertaining to the route, not to the path going home.
A whole entire Brigadier Bangani Nicholas Gininda escorting and arrested Muzi Sibiya back to the KZN tiny little province. A whole brigadier. Man, the slush fund is really big. By the way, Paul O'Sullivan says it's about 500 million. I can't even remember how many millions. But I could see how they finish it. Yeah. Per year, by the way, guys, not per 5 years. No, per year. They drove him home because he hadn't spoken to any of his family members. Do they do this for each and every single detained person? And then Baloy wants to object and talk about an OB book. Baloy, stand down. Stand down, Baloy. Shame on you. Let us hear the version of the accused. This one is so incredible for me. And it's incredible because he mentions Gininda. He mentions everyone by name. And he says they took me home. An entire team, guys. Now, this is a SENZO MEYIWA task force. It's not even the PKTT. Where are the dockets? Let's continue listening on.
Sahamba ke saye sayofika ekhaya.
They then drove up until we reached home.
Yes.
Masifika emakhaya bendlula epolice station yakwaCeza.
When we arrived back at home, they then drove past by the police station in Ceza.
Bacela amaphoyisa khona ukuthi baphelezele.
They then asked the police from Ceza to escort them, not to accompany them.
Zasimoto ehamba sezi3.
Then the vehicles, there were 3 following after each other.
Saze sayofika ekhaya.
Yes.
Up until we reached at home.
Masifika ekhaya bake bangikhulumisa nabazali bami.
When we reached at home, they then allowed me to talk with my parents.
Kwakuza baqale bona bawukhuluma nabo endlini kuqala baqale bakhuluma nobaba nomama endlini nezingane zasekhaya.
However, the police they firstly went inside the house to talk with my father, my mother, together with my siblings.
Kwase kuza ubaba kokuqala emontweni wafika wangena emontweni bathi angikhulumele naye emontweni.
And then my father, he was the first person to come out from the house, and then he approached the vehicle in which I was seated. And then they then said that he should talk with me whilst I was still inside the car.
Yes.
Wangibuza baba uthi kwenze njani ngamtshela ukuthi ngiboshwa ngamaphoyisa angibophela icala engalazi angishayile ngambonisa nezandla la ukuthi zinjani wangibona nami emzimbeni ukuthi angisiyo lengane yakhe le ayaziyo.
And then my father asked me as to what was happening, what has happened. I then informed him that I got arrested by the police for something that I am not even aware, for something that I did not know. And I even showed him where I got injured in my hands, and he also observed that I was no longer the person whom he knew me.
Wamtshela bathi mina ngabulala uSenzo mina ngazi lutho ngibulala kwaSenzo.
I further informed him that the police, they are alleging that I have killed Senzo and I don't know anything about the death of Senzo.
Ubaba wazi wehlelwa zinyembezi wakhala ngaleso sikhathi leso.
Then my father cried during that time.
Ngendlela ayengibona
cried tears during that time.
Ngendlela ayengibona ngiyiyo.
Simply because of the manner or the way in which he saw me, the status in which he saw me.
No ukuthi sonke lesikhathi kudala bengifuna bengazi bazongithola bethumela abantu nasemajele nasema-police station akhona lapha eThembisa bengangitholi ukuthi bazongithola.
And during that period, my family was looking for me and they did not know as to where will they find me. And they even sent people to Tembisa police station to look for me and even to prison.
Now, repent. There's just one point that I would want to take up with you, but you can proceed and finalize your visit at home.
Atikhona liphuzu azokuthanda ukuthi abuye ahleshele abuyele emuva kulona kepha uqeda uqhube iqala uqede nokuthula ufakazi bakho.
Then thereafter I repent, after I spoken to your father, I repent.
Ngemuva ukuthi uqhube nobaba wakho yini yenzeka ke mfowethu.
Kwaphinde kweza umama futhi.
Then my mother came.
naye ngaphinde ngamchazela ukuthi la ngiboshiwe icala engingakazi ngishawa amaphoyisa since angibopha asengishaye kaningi.
I've also explained to my mother that I was arrested by the police and then they've been assaulting me and they arrested me for something that I am not even aware of. And they had assaulted me many different times.
Athi mina ngabulala uSenzo. So noma ngwatshena ukuthi mina angazi lutho ngofaka Senzo sangibulala uSenzo ebelokho libele ngishaya.
I informed my mother that the police, they're alleging that I have killed Senzo, and when I was replying to the police by saying that I don't know anything about the death of Senzo and I did not kill a Senzo, they kept on assaulting me.
Lawo mama wazwa.
All right.
You can take your time if you want the court to adjourn or request the court to adjourn so that you can recompose yourself.
My lord, the witness has became so emotional.
You adjourn. Please, my lord.
For how long?
That's maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
20 minutes.
That is the moment, ladies and gentlemen, that I introduced this video with, where Muzi Sibiya breaks down uncontrollably at the mention of his mother. Actually, he started to break down. I guess he was composing himself as he spoke of his father. This is a man who hasn't seen his mom or father for years because they are not in Gauteng. And as you know, the police are not as willing to go pick them up to come and attend court every day as they were willing to drive him back home. Yes, I'm getting enraged as I continue to speak about this because this is despicable, this is unimaginable, and this is inhumane. Muzi. Oh my goodness. I'm going to end this video right here. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like, to comment, to subscribe. Please share this video so that the ad hoc committee also knows in the SENZO MEYIWA trial, the police were driving the accused to their homes for a family visit. Incredible. With that said, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next upload. Bye.